Hey everybody, it's Angie and welcome to Hot and Flashy and welcome to my Faves and Fails video for August. It's the beginning of September and I wanted to just review the things that I went over in the last month or so, tell you what were my favorite things, what didn't go so well. So I feel like I haven't been here like talking to you guys in quite a while because I didn't put up a video last Friday, and the Friday before I put up a video, but I had recorded it a couple weeks in advance because I was going on vacation and I was leaving like 2 hours after I put up that video. So if you notice that I, didn't respond to a lot of the comments and things like that, that's why I basically put up the video. Then my ride came and I left to go on this trip to Italy, and I just got back the day before yesterday. I went for a destination wedding. You guys, I've never been to a destination wedding before, and this was so fantastic. Oh my gosh. And of course, you can't just go for the weekend because you're flying across the pond. The wedding was on the Amalfi Coast in this beautiful little hill town called Ravello. It was unbelievably gorgeous there. The wedding was just so fantastic. It was really nice and really relaxing, but I am so happy to be back. And I just felt like I missed you guys. I haven't been here in a bit, so I just wanted to put up something. So I thought I would just do a quick little faves and fails. All right, so let's start in with some travel essentials. This video isn't going to be all about travel essentials. I'll talk about skincare and makeup later in the video, but the travel is just so on my mind because I was just on the trip. So let's talk about a few travel essentials first. One of the things that I wanted to share was the RFID wallet that I got to go on the trip, because whenever you're talking about a trip to a place like Italy where there's a lot of like very congested tourist attractions, you always hear about how unsafe it is, how there are pickpockets everywhere, how you have to really like keep your money in your purse close at hand and everything, and that they even can just walk by you and scan your passport. So you kind of have to think about these things beforehand, but at the same time I never want to look like a tourist who is, clutching my belongings to me as though I don't trust anyone on the planet that's around me, because, I go there to experience the culture and meet the people, but you do have to be aware that, that can happen, and you have to kind of, walk that fine line between being safe, keeping your valuables secure, but also feeling like you look like you. This is from Bagalini, and it's almost like a little wristlet wallet. So I really, really love this. It has a zipper that goes all the way around. It does have a zipper pocket on the outside here. And oh my gosh, there's my little Italian luck pepper. I got this from a cab driver who I had such the comedy of errors when I got there. So you know how you fly an overnight flight and you arrive in Italy. I arrived in Rome at like 7 in the morning or whatever. And then I was supposed to get on a flight up to Naples, or down to Naples, I should say. And my flight to Naples was canceled. And so they were busing people to Naples from Rome, but it was going to be like 5 hours because the buses weren't leaving in a couple hours. And then it's like on the roads. But I had arranged for a car to pick me up at the Naples airport to take me to Ravello, which was like an hour away. Well, when the flight was canceled, my car was also canceled because they track your flight, and when your flight doesn't come in, they're just like, bye, see ya. So I was like, oh my gosh, how am I getting to Ravello from here? So I ended up hopping on a train and taking the train to Naples. And then once I got into Naples, I had to take a taxi from Naples up to Ravello. Like I said, it's an hour, and it's, winding roads up the mountain and down the mountain. And I was so nauseous in the car ride. I was completely unprepared that it was going to be so windy. I actually had to get out one time. There was a lot of extenuating circumstances. My daughter needed to be picked up. I didn't know where my Airbnb was. He was so helpful. He didn't speak English. I didn't speak Italian. We used Google Translate. But at the end of the ride, he gave me and my daughter and her boyfriend each one of these little pepper charms. And he was just like so sweet and the nicest person, and just, was so kind when I was feeling nauseous, and went above and beyond, like talking to the host of my Airbnb, in Italian to figure out where we were going. And then to give like us a gift at the end was just so nice. So I was just like, wow, there are really, really, really nice people in the world. And I ran into one today, and it was such a great experience from that standpoint. But okay, so that was the cab ride. Anyway, but I was telling you about this. So what I like about this is that it does fit your passport. So I had my passport in it. It has credit card slots and a money section here. Then it has more credit card slots and a money section here. Then it has a little zipper section here. And in a pinch, I could even fit my phone in it. So I could put my phone in it as well. and still get it zipped. And so I could have everything that I needed right in this little secure wristlet. And this was so helpful for even just being in the airport, you know, when you have to pull out your identification and you also need your phone because usually that's where your boarding pass is. And instead of having to be like rifling through my purse or rifling through my backpack, which I usually am, I put my purse in my backpack and then I just had this out, and this was just so convenient for everything. It was small enough that it fit in my handbag, which I took this one. This is from Quince. I bought it specifically for the trip, but this was great because, you know, little handbag, little wallet, the wallet fit in there. But if I was going somewhere where I didn't want to take a whole handbag like this, I could just pull the little wristlet out and just take that with me instead. If I was gonna carry it, I carried it in my hand so it was more secure, but I could put it around my wrist and then hold it, and then I felt like it was even more secure. Anyway, this was just a great little travel wallet, great to have on the trip, and really happy that I got it and wanted to recommend it in case you were doing any traveling. As I mentioned, I got this from Quince. This is really cute. It's a woven leather handbag, and I just wanted something really small and neutral that I could carry, but that had a shorter strap. So instead of doing like a crossbody or doing one of those little like tiny backpack looking things or fanny pack looking things in the front, you know what, I like to look nice when I'm traveling, and I don't really want to have like a big backpack thing on the front of me. And I really like this because I could just put it over, and then I felt like the handbag was secure because it's right here under my arm. I could hold onto the strap, or I could just carry it like this. And I gotta say, wherever I went, I never felt like there was any, you know, danger of anyone grabbing it. This does come with a crossbody strap. Anyway, that's what I carried. Really liked it, had no problems. And since I mentioned being so nauseous in the cab ride up the mountain, I had brought Dramamine with me because we were gonna go out on a boat and I knew that I would need Dramamine for the boat. So anyway, brought Dramamine with me. Didn't realize I was going to need it for the car up the mountain, but did take it for the ride back down the mountain to get back to Naples, to get on the train to go back up to Tuscany. So definitely Dramamine. If you are a motion sick person, or even if you're not a motion sick person and you're doing something like going to some of the hill towns where the roads are very switchbacky, like the ones I remember being really like nauseous were the road to Ravello, definitely. The roads to Amalfi, the road to this little town Greve in Tuscany, the road between Rada and Castellina in Chianti, very switchbacky. But anyway, so I took Dramamine an hour before I was going on the boat. I took 2 Dramamine an hour before I was going back to Naples in the car to get back on the train. I took a Dramamine. This is the less drowsy version. A couple things to help stay comfortable on the plane. I brought my travel neck pillow. I used to use this different pillow called the Turtle, but then they remade it and it wasn't as good. So I bought this one at Christmas time last year. I think I featured it in my holiday gift guide last year, and this was really my first chance to use it because I didn't have any travel between Christmas and just this Italy trip. So this is a really cool neck pillow. You wrap it around your entire neck, and so it goes around. It has Velcro that secures, and then it's got these higher, you know, neck things so that you can actually lay with your head against it, and it holds your head up, and it also holds your mouth shut so you're not asleep, like snoring or having your mouth hanging open or drooling on the plane. They're just very, very comfortable, much more comfortable than the other types because this side is really high. So you just kind of snuggle your head in there. It was very cozy in it. The other thing is I'm always freezing on the plane, and this kept my neck so nice and warm. So that's an awesome little guy for neck comfort. There is a zipper, so the cover does come off if you get, you know, makeup on it or it gets dirty. So those are great. Then the other thing that I like to have on the plane are my noise canceling headphones. I just bought these this past summer during one of the Amazon sales. These are the Bose ones, and they have this really nice carrying case. So they come in such pretty colors. I got these lavender ones, and these are either Bluetooth or cabled. I prefer the cable, so I always keep the cable in there, just plug it in. But these are so comfortable. I have very sensitive ears and like the back of my ear bones. Any other headphones that I've used have always been too small and pressed directly on my ear and pressed it back there within like 45 minutes of wearing them. I have to take them off because I've got such a headache and because it hurts so much back there. But these are really nice and big and they fit over your ear completely, and they're also noise canceling. So when you have them on, it really cuts down on the background noise, so you can't hear the plane noise. You might fall asleep, but there's other people making noise around you. You know, they're slamming the overhead bin, or there's a baby crying, or the pilot puts on the seatbelt notice and it makes a big ding, and so everything wakes you up. But with these, you can't hear as much of everything that's going on around you, and it just makes it so much more comfortable for sleeping. So those are great. Definitely recommend getting them like on sale if you can during like an Amazon Prime Days or something, because they are a little spendy, but now that I have them, I'm so happy I do. And then of course, you know, when you want to charge your devices on the flight, you got to have your charging cables. This is just a great little case for keeping your charging cables organized. Bought this a few years ago. I just keep it in my travel backpack, and then it's always in there and ready to go. What I keep in here are basically my charging cable brick, and this is a like remote phone charger. So you charge this and then you keep it with you, and then you can charge your phone on the fly. This is my favorite cable for travel, and I love this one because it's split. And so it's got two ends here, so I can charge two things at once. So one fits in either my phone or my iPad. The other one I can charge my Apple Watch, because I do like to keep my watch with me when I travel, but it's pretty inconvenient to charge it. And so this is great. This is a nice long 6-foot cord. And then the other thing that you need, of course, is a converter if you're going to Europe. And I love this one. I bought it a couple of years ago for my Greece trip. And this one's great because it's worldwide. So wherever you're going, you just pick the location and the type of currency, and then you slide this out. And then there is the plug-in prong that you need for that location. And it's locked until you press this button, and then you can put it back in. So it's got 3 different options for that. In the back, it's got all the different configurations of different plugs that you could need. Down here, it's got 4 USB ports, and it also has a tiny little USB-C right here on this side. So it really is an all-in-one complete power converter device, and it comes in this cute little carrying case. Doesn't take up much room in your luggage. All right, some clothes for the trip. I'm wearing this. This was one of my favorite things. So I liked these so much. I bought 3 of them in 3 colors, and I brought them all with me. And they were like my perfect little wardrobe, because then I could put on jeans on the bottom, or, you know, white linen pants, or I could put on a skirt, or I could put a sweater on over them. They're just basically a square neck linen top. And they're so nice and adjustable because the back has a zipper, so it's easy to get it on and off, but it also has this, you know, ruching, elastic ruching here, and so it has a lot of give, and so it fits really nicely, but it's not super snug or super tight, but it gives you a lot of shape. And the last thing that's adjustable on it are the straps. They have a button on the inside of the back, and they have 2 different buttonholes, so you can make the straps longer or shorter. I brought like a pair of linen shorts, and they went great with those. I bought a pair of pants while I was over there, and I wore the black one with those pants. I wanted to mention the dress that I wore to the welcome dinner. This is such a pretty dress, and I thought it was just like perfect for the occasion. I love the pleating on the skirt and everything. And I believe this is available in a few different colors. I know there's like a polka dot one, and there's a few different colorways of the flowers. It is a beautiful dress. It does have spaghetti straps, and the lower part of the back is pretty open, so you can't really wear a regular bra with it because the straps are really thin, and it does have a tie in the back, but it makes it more of like a customized fit, and it's just so pretty, especially from the back. So I know people are going to ask me what I did as far as a bra for that, and I wanted to recommend these because they were so good with it. And these are those like kind of sticky boobs, right? Because of course, being in my 60s, the girls do not stand up on their own. The good thing about these, and the reason they work so well, is because they're sticky on both sides. And so if you put on something that's just sticky, it just sticks but doesn't give you any lift, right? But if it's sticky on both sides, and then your dress has straps, then it lifts everything up. So you can see how effective it was in this picture. So they make these with less padding in them. I kind of wish I had gotten ones with less padding in them because these seemed a little bulky to me, but oh my gosh, these are genius. Give these a try if you're looking for a way to hold the girls up in a strappy dress. They really, really work. Another travel essential that I always bring is, of course, my travel brush set. I brought this with me. I like to put this in my carry-on bag rather than in my checked luggage because when you're doing an overnight flight, sometimes I like to get up in the morning and put on a little bit of makeup. It's nice and small, so it will fit in your carry-on bag. It contains 5 brushes and the top folds down so that it stands your brushes up when you get to where you need to go. And so it's got a foundation brush, a blush brush, and 2 eyeshadow brushes and my Kitten Paw concealer brush. So that's a great thing to have with, but it also has room for more brushes, more makeup. So I'll usually just put eyeliner, mascara, and then I can also use the brushes on my trip when I'm doing my makeup for, the wedding or just for a day out. All right, so that brings us into makeup. We can talk about the makeup faves and fails for this month. I did a video last month that was trying all new drugstore makeup, and there were some things in that video that were just like knock it out of the park, so good. And one of them that I brought on my trip and have been loving since then are these Lush Shadow Sticks from L'Oreal. It is a crayon eyeshadow, and I loved them in the testing video, and then I brought this on my trip as almost the only eyeshadow that I used. I brought this, and also I brought my favorite taupe color from About Face, and this is actually what I have on my eyes today as my entire eye look. These two would also go in my travel brush set. I can put on some eyeshadow in the morning and look more awake when I get to my destination, and I've pretty much been up all night because I didn't sleep on the plane. So those are awesome. What I love so much about the L'Oreal is that it is one of the only eye crayons that I've used that you don't have to use an eyelid primer with it to get it to last all day and not settle in your crease. Also from that video is this Maybelline Super Lock Tinted Brow Glue. This brow glue, oh my gosh, you guys, it's the best brow glue I've ever used. It's even better than the Anastasia, and that was my favorite before this, but now this one holds my brows so much better. In that video, I combed them straight up and wore them very fluffy. Is that what looks called? Fluffy brows? I did that, and it actually didn't look bad. I liked it, but it's not how I normally wear my brows. So today I've got it in at how I normally wear them. So I like to fluff up the front a little bit and then just glue the tail in place. So they're in place. It gives them a little more oomph and a little more like they're there. Your brows will not budge the entire time you have this on. A couple of fails from that video were the foundation that I used in that video. This is the L'Oreal Skin Ink. This is a foundation and concealer in one. I really wanted to try this before I went on the trip because I thought, oh, perfect little thing to bring on a trip. Won't take up much room if it's really fantastic. I liked it better as a foundation than a concealer. As a concealer, I didn't think it made my under eyes look very good. It made them look dry and more crepey and more wrinkled. But as a foundation, the coverage was really good and very long lasting. Like the coverage was still on my nose after 8 hours. And that was the best thing about it. I didn't love how it looked up close. I don't think I'll be reaching for it as a concealer or a foundation, so didn't take that on the trip. And then the other thing that was a fail was this Maybelline Colossal Bubble Mascara. I loved it at first because it went on and made my lashes really big and really bold, but there was just like little chunkers all over them that I knew were going to come off later in the day. And sure enough, they did. And they were like on my eyelids and under my eyes. And it also smudged beneath my eyes. So didn't love that. The foundation that I brought along with me on the trip, I only brought one, and it was one of my new faves from the drugstore, and it's the Maybelline Lumi Matte Super Stay. This foundation is so great. You can put on like just the tiniest bit of it and really put a really thin coating on just to like even out the redness, say on your nose or your chin, or you can do, a full face of it. Either way, it looks great. It is a beautiful looking foundation. And the thing is that when they say it's like 30-hour foundation, I don't know if it is because I haven't slept in it, but it is a minimum 10 to 12 hour foundation. And I struggle with getting foundation to stay on my nose, and this one stays. So I was like, I'm bringing this on the trip. I know I'm going to have long days. I'm going to be out all day doing things, and I don't want to be worrying about my makeup. And so I put this on in the morning, then we go touring around all day. We get back later in the evening. My face still looked good, and I didn't have to worry about it. It doesn't get shiny, it doesn't settle in wrinkles, and it works great on more mature skin as well. So really loving that product. I brought 2 concealers. I brought my regular Lancome concealer, but I also brought the Dermatology Luminous Eye. I didn't use this once. I just use this all the time. I also like it that it has this little like cooling tip there when you put it on. So it makes a great concealer, but it is also an all mineral SPF sunscreen. And you know, that's what you need when you're like traveling. And I don't know, I just love it as a standalone concealer. So it's a great product. And I think I have a 20% off with Dermatology ongoing, and I'll put that link in the description box next to the product. And then another Dermatology product that I don't think I've talked about anywhere yet, but I did take it on the trip and I love this, is their new Lip Silk SPF 40 lip gloss. They sent it to me in 2 colors. So it comes in more of like a hot poppy pink color and also a really nice nude. I have the nude on today. I think it's mineral. It doesn't taste like anything, it doesn't smell like anything, and it gives you SPF coverage while also looking like a really pretty lip gloss in a great color. I had just talked about this new Alloy IM4 cream in my previous Faves and Fails video, I think. And so I brought this with me because I didn't want to bring my big bottle of M4 cream. And what's interesting about this is that the regular M4 cream is estriol, but it's 0.3%. This one is 1%. And it's much more concentrated, I assume, because you're only supposed to be using it around your eyes. But it's so creamy and such a nice consistency, and a little tiny dollop goes so far. I ended up using this like all over my face for the whole trip. I mean, I don't want to use it like that all the time. I will continue to use it as an eye cream now that I'm home. This was really awesome. So if you want to give that a try, I'll leave the link to Alloy. And then of course, the last thing that I brought on the trip that was so helpful to me was that I of course packed my skincare, my Angie's Actives. I packed both my All-In Serum and my Activate Lotion, and they are just perfection on a trip because, you know, 2 bottles is my entire skincare routine where I used to have to take 8 or 10 different bottles with me. I'm going to talk about it today, even though we're currently sold out again, and I know some people are getting upset that it's sold out again, and I heard from a lot of people that you didn't get our email announcing that it was restocking. We restocked this on August 14th, I want to say it was. It was a Thursday. And I had sent out the restock emails to everyone who had signed up on the restock list, like 10,000 emails the day before. So many people said that they didn't get the emails. And so, you know, I've switched email providers. So hopefully next time, and I have a new notify me button on the website. So hopefully when we restock again, you will get the emails, and I will do more announcing it in more places. But the stock did last longer than the previous time. Restocked Thursday morning, I think at 8:30, and it didn't sell out until maybe Monday or Tuesday, I want to say, of the next week. So there was a bit of time to get it if you had heard about it or if you had checked in on the website. You know, I feel like I shouldn't be talking about it now because it's not in stock, but eventually it will be in stock steady state, so that, you know, if you're watching this video 2 years from now, I don't want to be like not mentioning it. I know it's aggravating. I know it's frustrating. I know it's disappointing when you're all excited about it and you can't get it. You know, we're new at this, and so it might take us a little while, but hopefully within, you know, a few months, we'll have all of these kinks worked out. We'll have regular stocks that anytime you want to get it, you can just go on and buy it. We'll have the subscription model set up. It seems to be the number one question that everyone's asking me everywhere is, when are you restocking? When are you restocking? When are you making a bigger bottle? When are you doing a subscription? When are you doing a milder version of this? There is so much in the works. I can't even tell you. And, you know, we're just a small team of people trying to get this all done for you. So if you can, we'd appreciate your patience more than you can ever know. And we're working on it. Just know that we are working on it 24/7. So that is it for today's video, everyone. All the links are in the description box below the video. If you found the video helpful and informative, go ahead and give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. As always, I thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate your watching. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.